Hello and welcome to our webinar, Making the Most of Convention. And we are so glad you're here. I'm Wes Bleed from the Water Quality Association, and we are going to spend the next, I don't know, 45 minutes or so talking about the upcoming convention in Orlando and how you can get the most out of it if you have never attended convention before, or even if you have, but you're looking for those extra tips or insights. And we are joined today. We've got some staff from WQA. We have Jennifer Smith from Resintech. We may get another guest as well to join us, another panelist. Here at WQA, we have Monica Sanchez, our member relations manager, and Haley Fioretti, who is with our events team. And so I will rely on them to help kind of navigate through the whole process of what to know and what to do and what to expect by way of the upcoming WQA convention. If you happen to be listening or watching and somebody shared with you the link and you're not yet registered, well, this is the time, right? Go on over to wqa.org/convention to get signed up. Also, we're going to be recording the webinar and we'll have a link. If you can't stay with us the entire time, we'll send that link out with a recording so you can certainly get all of the information as well as share it with a colleague. All right, let's get going here and welcome everybody. Jennifer Smith, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Wes.
There she is, Jennifer. Glad to have you. Haley Fioretti, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
And I'm alongside Monica Sanchez in our studio here, and she's a little off mic, but Monica, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
All right, opening question here to you, Jennifer, and as we've got here on the screen, Jami West may be joining us as well. But what is the best way to describe the convention to somebody who has never been? Can you take that, Jennifer?
Certainly. It's very exciting. There are a lot of people there. I can tell you the first time that I went, I was a little bit intimidated. I really was. But what I found quickly was everybody is so friendly, so nice. And if you have questions, you can stop and ask literally anybody, and they'll have answers for you. And if they don't, then they usually know where to point you to. So, but it is very exciting just to between the education and the trade show floor and just seeing that this industry is not just your community, but this is nationwide and worldwide, actually. So it's very exciting.
Thank you. And so, Monica, I'm going to let you take the microphone here. What if I'm traveling alone and I don't know a soul at the convention? What would you suggest?
So we actually try to partner people who have never been to the convention with some longtime attendees, some experts on the convention. We kind of call them the convention buddies. So if you're interested in getting partnered up with someone who's been to the convention many times, and it's your first time, you want a little help kind of navigating everything, you can send an email to membership@wqa.org, and we will get you partnered up with someone and get you connected.
Great. Let me move on over to Haley with our events team. And Haley, can you step us through some of the main elements of the show? And why don't you start with actually the registration experience that somebody would have as they come to the convention, the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Again, I'm Haley, events coordinator here at WQA, and I do all things with planning of the convention and leading registration. So most of you, if not all of you, are already registered for the convention, and thank you for that. So when you get to the Orange County Convention Center, the South Concourse, you will enter in the main doors and either print your badge or you can go to the registration desk, which will be to the right, and ask any questions. Beyond that, it is all education sessions, the expo hall, networking, and I'm happy to dive more into that on the website as well.
Yeah, we might actually go to the website at some point, right? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Again, wqa.org/convention. But the process itself is pretty straightforward, right, Haley?
Yes, absolutely. You will register on the website, and after that, you are good to go. You'll be getting reminder emails, before you go emails with any information you need to know. And you do not need to pre-print your badge before you go. You will print it on site. And if you I believe all of you are full conference registered convention attendees, which means you have all access to any education session Tuesday through Thursday, the expo hall on Wednesday and Thursday, networking opportunities, and anything else that we advertise on our website.
Jennifer, from a user experience or from an attendee's experience, from the registration standpoint, anything to add to that?
No, I felt that registration was very easy. And once you get your badge, it's all easy from there.
Great. And if you do happen to stand in a line, first of all, it will likely be a very short one. But if you do happen, I mean, that's where your connections can actually start, right? You could be
Exactly.
standing by somebody and find out where they're from and all of that. So those are always good opportunities to start to make those connections. Haley, if you wouldn't mind, stay with us here and let's talk about the app, the convention app, which is always a very important element.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have an event app. Here's the QR code on the screen for all of you to download it if you haven't already. And you will log in using your email that you used to register for the convention, as well as your badge ID, which is in your confirmation email. And I can walk through the app right now, or I can wait till after the website. I think actually now might be a good time just for people to download it, and then we can walk through it later.
All right, so you're asking people to go ahead, download it, and then
Yep.
you're going to talk about it in a minute or two. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're a little bit more, shall we say, old school, that's okay. We do have a printed show floor guide as well, so you could look for that and take that along with you. That's easily kind of foldable, and you can fold it out and unfold it, I should say, and see the entire show floor and find that booth that you might want to see or visit. But what you won't get on the show guide, the paper guide, is you won't have the schedule and all of that good stuff. So just a point there that I wanted to make. And the app is now available, right, Haley?
Yes, the app is
Okay.
available for download and access and login, and we'll walk through all the perks of it in a little bit.
All right, great. Now we do have some pre-convention programming. As we mentioned, the show actually starts on March 5th, but the pre-show convention programming starts on March 4th. Jennifer, could you take us through boot camp and the WQRF symposium and the RO sizing workshop in case somebody who has registered might still want to take advantage of those?
Definitely. I can tell you it's a little bit of extra money, but there is so much extra knowledge to pick up from the day before. As far as WQRF Symposium, this will actually be my first year that I'm not going to the business boot camp, and because I wanted to go to the Water Quality Research Foundation Symposium. And they have some excellent topics this year. It's what the USGS knows about tap water in the US. They're also going to talk about the life cycle of PFAS. PFAS right now is such a big issue that everybody's talking about, especially in the news. And this is going to be excellent. They're doing a screening of a documentary called Sludge. You can also see that documentary. They're also holding a screening on Tuesday also that you can see that. And then just all different other things, water resilience, innovations to do with water. So there's a lot of things going on with that. Then also, and this is where the app comes in great, and Peter Cartwright is putting together, and a few more are putting together the, oops, I'm sorry, I have WQRF pulled up. They have the Commercial Industrial RO Sizing Workshop. Peter Cartwright has this, and this is hands-on on how to properly size reverse osmosis for the industrial and commercial, and then also how to problem solve. So this is great. I've heard he's done this in the past, and I've heard excellent things about it. And then Business Boot Camp also is amazing. We have people that from our industry that are going to be speaking on different things, but we also have a gentleman named John Frost, I believe is what it is.
Phrase, like
Freeze. Okay,
like a
I
sentence,
apologize.
only a phrase.
Yes. Oh, it's only for, there you go. And they're going to talk about effective communication, empathy skills, and so on, and mostly the drive for recruitment and retention. So this is more of like managers coming in. This is great for, or business owners. This is great for them to attend the business boot camp. And I'll tell you, I'm a little bummed I had to choose between the two and decided to go with the symposium.
Yes, indeed. It is a tough choice to make. And by the way, this week's WQA podcast features an interview with Candace Wentling, who was one of the presenters at boot camp, and she talks more about what's in store for boot camp. So you might want to check out the podcast this week from WQA. All right. So now we want to talk about the other kinds of education that's available to us. And Jennifer, if you want to take a stab at that as well, would you,
Certainly.
again, kind of take us through how one would really go through the schedule and pick out some of those sessions that might be most apropos?
So, what's awesome, you can either go on the website, the WQA.org website, or again, this app is, I was telling Haley earlier, I'm like, oh, the app came out yesterday, and it's almost like the Christmas catalog. You know, you get to choose your favorites and what you want to go and watch for education. But as far as education, we have business opportunity or business operations, business opportunities. So, again, this is for the managers, the owners, or even there are sessions for sales professionals and service technicians. So, as far as business goes, so we have business operations. We also have um, introductory level as for the technical side of things. And this is something that is perfect for the first time person coming to visit because, sometimes we get a little more advanced, which we do also offer. But if this is your first time coming, if you're just newer to the industry, there are wonderful things you can learn. And then we have topics that are across the board. Also, WQRF, the Water Quality Research Foundation, they also have different topics that they're offering, and which is always great to learn from the Water Quality Research Foundation.
All right, Haley, back to you. Would now be a good time to look at the website? Any pages there you want to highlight to kind of bolster what we just heard from Jennifer?
Yeah, absolutely. I will go ahead and screen share just to walk through the website and highlight those opportunities again. One second here. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So here is the main page of the convention website, convention.wqa.org. And we will go ahead and go down here. Oh my gosh, the convention is 19 days away. We'll see you all in Orlando soon.
It is
And
coming up fast.
it is. And just to reiterate, with your convention registration, the full convention registration, you have access to over 50 plus hours of education, 200 plus exhibitors on the show floor, 35 plus speakers. There will be over 3,000 attendees there, and 92% of them are decision makers. So this is a really great opportunity that you guys are taking advantage of. And to go more into depth about what you will be experiencing at the convention in Orlando, there's amazing networking opportunities, and we'll go ahead and click here to our networking page. Go down, you can learn a little bit more about networking opportunities. And here we go. So one of the biggest networking opportunities at the convention is the networking reception. This year, our theme is Let's Flamingle. Shout out to Lindsay on my team. I think she's watching here. She had a big part in planning this event. And it will be, hopefully everybody at the convention will go to this. It's going to be Wednesday, March 6th, 5 to 6:30 p.m., right at the Orange County Convention Center after the exposition closes that day. And you'll have the opportunity to talk with other folks there. There's going to be drinks and food and hopefully some furthering of some conversations you already had with exhibitors on the floor that day. Additionally, the expo itself is a great networking opportunity, and here are the opening hours on Wednesday and Thursday. And then another great opportunity for networking is the hub, which is outside in the foyer space of the OCC. And they also will be handing out water bottles on one of the days. So it's a great chance to just chat with other folks there who might be new attendees, and any folks from Pentair as well. And then let's go back to the main page. And actually, before I move on, Jennifer or Jamie are wonderful volunteers and longtime attendees of the convention. Do you have any advice on networking at the convention?
Go ahead, Jamie. I see you unmuted.
My suggestion is just take advantage when it comes up. Some of the best conversations I've had with people are standing in the hallway. You see somebody getting a cup of coffee, you're getting a cup of coffee, you see where they're from, you just kind of strike up that conversation. We have made some huge connections, and other than this convention, nationally, we never would have met these people, and now they're part of our water tribe. So I just say, don't just look at these three. These are three great ones, but don't miss an opportunity in a hallway.
I completely agree. In the hallway, and then, I think a lot of in the classes is really where I'll sit down next to somebody, and honestly, when I sit down in classes, I sit down next to strangers. I don't usually sit next to the people I already know because I want to grow. I've been in this industry for 18 years. This is my 14th convention, I think. And I always find somebody new and somebody exciting. And I learn from so many of these people and have made great connections also.
Oh, that's great. And great, Jamie, that you're on board now, and appreciate your joining us for the webinar today. I want to take a moment here and let's just imagine ourselves moving on into the convention expo hall for a moment. And as Haley mentioned, 200 plus exhibitors. It's going to be a jam-packed floor full of technology, products, solutions, all kinds of things. And I just want to ask you, how does one navigate? There you can see the trade show floor. Your thoughts, Jamie, on just kind of making the most of your opportunity on the show floor.
So we usually do the floor multiple times throughout the time we have, and I never go to the right or left. I kind of shoot for a third, and start there and just make sure that I have the time to see who's there. If someone's busy, I make a notation to myself to make sure on the map that I go back. And then, of course, it's almost like a reunion. You get to see your vendors. You get to see the new stuff coming out. And so just continuing to make those relationships. But I definitely say do not do the trade show floor once, at least twice while you're there. Get the most out of it.
Jennifer, anything to add?
What I noticed is when I do the trade show floor, I'll do it once in one direction, and then I'll do it again in the opposite direction because, sometimes you just see from a different perspective. Maybe there were a lot of people around a particular booth. And then when you come back the opposite way, either you might see different signage or that booth may be opened up at that time. So walk it at least once. And then I also recommend, so Wednesday is really kind of the big day that everybody goes. Thursday is a little bit quieter. So especially if you want to stop and see certain vendor or people that you want to talk to, definitely stop by on Thursday. Things are slower. And then I think that you get a little bit more of it out of it on Thursday.
Very good. And right in the middle of the show floor will be WQA Central. And I'm going to ask Monica to tell us a little bit about that. Monica?
So WQA Central is kind of the hub for WQA once the expo hall opens. The way the Central is set up is it has 4 corners. In those 4 corners is basically to answer any WQA questions you could possibly have. We have WQRF in one corner. We have our professional certification in one corner. We also have our product certification in the other corner. And last but certainly not least, we have our membership corner. So again, if you come up to Central and when you're in the expo hall and you have any WQA, anything that comes up WQA related and you need some help, feel free to visit us over on at Central and we'll get those answers for you.
Great. Yeah. And usually some comfy chairs in the area you could stop by and maybe, rest up a little bit because, as we all know, you're on your feet for a very, very long time. I wanted to get back to the networking for a moment, folks, and ask about the ideas behind being the most effective networker that we can be. I realize there are some folks who are natural, right? It's just kind of just and and others like me, it takes a little bit more to have that conversation, to get that start that conversation. So I'm curious what your tips are, what your ideas are. Jamie, let me start with you. How do you and you're one of those naturals, but what do you do to kind of start the conversation or to get that networking going where you might not maybe feel like it's the easiest thing in the world?
So, Wes, it's funny that you say I'm a natural because it's totally not in my nature to be that outgoing. But WQA has had a huge impact in my professional career through the WIN mentoring program, to give us different webinars so that we can learn and we can clearly look like we know what we're doing when we're there. But they have some great ones that I don't know if we can archive and people can look through those. But kind of your elevator speech is what a lot of people call it. How do you prepare that? How do you not sound like it's scripted? Definitely those conversation points that you can do to strike up the conversations in networking. So that is where I have really gotten a lot of my growth is from WQA. Sometimes it's trial or error. You just maybe it's not somebody that you have so much in common with, but maybe they know somebody they can connect you to. Versus the water quality that maybe you're in your area. So I can say WQA has definitely pushed me to where I'm much better at networking, and there are resources on the website for everybody to kind of refresh themselves before we meet in 19 days.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Yeah, I think Jamie said it all. I think she did a great job. Again, it's just taking the time to talk and get to know each other, and maybe even if you don't learn from somebody, they may learn from you. So again, reach out. Whether you've been in the industry for quite a while, find that person that looks a little bit lost, and vice versa. If you're somebody that feels a little bit lost, go in and talk to somebody else that looks like they're a little more seasoned.
Yeah, and have those business cards handy, because not only are business cards effective at telling people who you are, but sometimes you can write down that extra bit of information about somebody that you learned in the conversation or something else about yourself that you can then provide as you hand the business card over. So that's just another thought. The other one that I have benefited from is advice about people using other people's names in a conversation. So you just learned that this person standing next to you is Bob. Say Bob once in a while in the conversation to get that name cemented into your brain. And that'll go a long way toward helping you remember Bob, the next day when you happen to see him in the hallway. So that's just a tip that I have appreciated over the years. All right. And then again, that networking reception, as Haley pointed out, is going to be that first day of the trade show, right after the trade show. So you can basically finish up your visits with, with whoever you are speaking to, and then carry on the conversation right into the networking reception. And I don't know that we did enough to underscore the food. Oh my goodness. The food at these receptions cannot be beat. So I just want to, just letting you know, this is not, crackers and punch. All right. This is really good stuff. And I just want to make sure we get that across. All right. I know there's some strategies as well, Jamie and Jennifer, about managing your what can we say? Your endurance. How do you keep going during the 3 days of the convention, possibly four, if you're with us for the pre-convention shows?
Okay, so we're going to go with the standard. Make sure you eat a good breakfast and stop and have lunch, and stay hydrated. But I am going to tell you from experience, The first few years I wore heels. I know, do not wear heels. I either wear flats or I wear tennis shoes because you are going to do a lot of walking. And I'm going to put in a little plug for the Water Quality Research Foundation. They have a, a, a something going on where you can download their app. Do you happen to have that? There you
Yeah,
go, WQRF Walk for Water, $25 donation, and you can follow your steps and possibly win the contest. So, but anyways, you are walking so much. Wear comfortable shoes, comfortable clothing, and just bring your good attitude also. That's super important. I don't think I've seen any bad attitudes though. So, Jamie, what are
right.
your thoughts?
No, usually a smile gets you a long way at this convention. Makes you feel better, and the people that you're approaching as well. So I agree with Jennifer. Definitely stay hydrated. We are in the water industry, so we probably a lot of us neglect ourselves in that area. Take the opportunity when you go sit down and have a meal to unplug for a minute and be with the people that you're with. I think that's a huge thing. It's not always whether we're business owners or on staff, it's taken the time that we have to be with the people that we're with. And so just unplug and put your phone down for 30 minutes. I think that's a huge thing that gets me through is taking that technology break.
You brought up a good point with the lunch. That is another excellent area for networking. Sitting down at the tables, whether it's lunch or there's a little area. And I personally know of a company, they were a plumbing company considering coming into the water treatment industry. They sat down and they spoke to just happened to start conversation with somebody who's been in the industry for over 30 years. And he was able to take them, make introductions to who they needed to talk to for different suppliers. And, they thought that was wonderful that somebody that's in the industry for 30 years is going to take that time and show them around. And they now have a very successful water treatment business. So that is definitely make those connections.
And I'd also like to add, speaking of refueling and hydrating, whether that be for yourself or your device, there will be concessions available for purchase on site Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That will be posted to the schedule shortly. So there will be lunchrooms. One on Tuesday, it will be kind of outside of the expo hall on the main floor, and Wednesday and Thursday it will be in the expo hall in the back. So you will have to walk through the floor to get there and hopefully make conversations that continue through lunch. And to charge your device, back to the networking, there is at the hub, you can charge your device there.
Nice.
And also throughout the expo or throughout the convention center expo hall, there will be water bottle refilling stations. So we want you guys to be refueled and ready to go for these conversations and to get through the whole day.
That is excellent. And I also want to get to the whole issue of how to follow up here. But before we do that, I wanted to mention the Anything But a Cup campaign that we are working on as well. And perhaps you've seen social media on this or some references to it one way or another. And it's not too late to join the Anything But a Cup campaign. We're basically looking for people to get pictures of themselves drinking from anything but a cup. You got it. That could be, a flower pot. It could be a football helmet, that sort of thing. And we are looking for the craziest ideas because our keynote speaker, Kyle Sheely, at 3:00 on Tuesday afternoon of convention, will be talking about crazy ideas. And so we worked with Kyle to come up with this Anything But a Cup campaign. And it's been really exciting and fun to see everybody participate. And so we share social media posts. We've seen your social media posts, and we're so glad that many of you have participated. And we're going to give away some prizes. So if you want to be eligible for those, get going now, and we'll definitely take note. All right. Now, I did mention, let's talk about follow-up. And by the way, if you've got some questions for our team here today, please jot them into the Q&A box that you'll see on your screen, and we will try to get to as many of those as we can here in a couple of minutes. So we want to talk about follow-up for just a moment. We've gone through the convention. We've been on the trade show floor. We've said our goodbyes, and we're on the way out of town. What's the best way to follow up, ladies?
I'll take it from the exhibitor side of things. I've always been an exhibitor, and of course, we're there selling our product. And the thing is, we also understand that when you go to these, it is overwhelming. We have, what was it, Haley, over 300 exhibitors there. It is so overwhelming. So me as an exhibitor, I would usually wait 200 or more. So 200 plus. I would usually wait to probably until middle of the following week to contact these people and just, hey, it was great to meet you, and so on. And it's really important as an exhibitor, make notes. If you're an exhibitor, you probably already know that, but that's how, as an exhibitor, I did it. Jami, you're usually walking the floor. How do you usually do it?
So for me, walking the floor, it more than networking. I definitely make sure that I follow up by the weekend with anybody that I've made a connection to, and I've promised to talk to them after, like more in a mentoring if they're newer into the industry, and we've met and we're gonna have a conversation. I go ahead before the weekend, maybe even on my way home, just to remind them that even in the crazy hustle and bustle, that I'm still thinking about them and I am looking forward to our next conversation. We actually were able to do that when we left convention last year. We caught a red eye back to Georgia, and we're walking through the airport and we hear Jami and Chris and look over, and it was another couple that they were from South Carolina or North Carolina, right there at the border. And we ended up eating at Chili's, and we were going to connect the next week. We actually ate Chili's in the airport together and we're able to go ahead and connect. So I like quicker if I'm networking with somebody and we're going to have a relationship going forward.
That's great.
Anything else as you return to the office that comes to mind? One thing that I was going to mention was to not try to think that you have to remember everything that you hear or learn. You know, if you can take that one or two nugget of wisdom back to the office, that may very well have been worth the entire trip.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Great. Well, is there anything else that we need to touch on before we go to any of the questions? Haley, anything else on the website that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, let me just show a couple more tabs that are helpful in case people haven't seen them yet. These are just the main tabs with broken down sections here, just for anything else you'd like to find. Here we go. If you want to know FAQs, that might be helpful for a first-time attendee. The schedule, the full convention schedule is here. It brings you out to another page. You can look at it either day by day. You can break it out by title, presenter, which sessions are accredited, by track. And you can also do all of this in the app as well. And that's where you can favorite those sessions. But I did just want to show you guys on the website where you could find that. And then here are our pre-convention programs that we had talked about previously that are an additional registration in addition to your convention. But you can add those onto your registration just by going to the registration page, access my registration, and add it on through Upgrade if you're an attendee. If you're an exhibitor, you'll talk to your booth mate and contact about that. And then just some other things, reading through some pages we already looked at, and then exhibitor information here. You'll learn more about WQA Central here if you would like. Monica touched on that though. And then I'd also like to talk about hotel and travel. If you have yet to book your hotel, there are still some rooms available in the hotel block, which is just rooms that you can get through WQA at the best rate possible. And you can book here and see which hotels are available there. And there's some more information on our housing and hotels. And you'll either be within walking distance or a shuttle will be provided if you stay at one of the WQA hotels. So definitely grab a hotel room while you still can, while they're available in the WQA block. And I believe that is all the information I have on the website. So I'll stop sharing my screen for the website unless Wes, Jennifer, or Jamie, you guys have anything else we should touch here.
Why don't you just hang on there, Haley, because one of,
Sure.
the questions might necessitate going back to one of the pages. So
Okay.
let's see what we have as far as questions go from anybody. Do we have anything yet, Monica, in the
We did have one. So someone had a question about where they can go if they're interested in talking with WQA auditors and customer relationship managers as a manufacturer. That's going to be at WQA Central. We do have a corner. You're going to want to look for the product certification corner, and they will hopefully get those questions answered for you.
Okay, great. Yeah, WQA Central. Again, the central part is not just a name. It's really right there in the center of the show floor. And so as you're moving on through the various exhibits and booths, you'll want to stop by and say hi. And we had somebody one time at a booth and stop in and say something, and it was fun to meet that person and to make the connection. So I've benefited from it myself as a WQA staff person. And what else? Anybody else? Any other questions? I don't think at this point, huh? It looks like we're out of questions. Okay. Let's wrap it up then. Any final thoughts from either Jamie or Jennifer?
I am super excited to see everybody there. It just, like I said, first time I went, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is big, it's huge. And there was a little bit of, it was intimidating. I was a little bit nervous in thinking, how am I going to fit in with all of this? But that was relieved within the first hour, I would say. Everybody was very welcoming. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to turn to somebody next to you and say, do you know where this is? Or even just introduce yourself and say, hey, this is my first time. And you'll really enjoy yourself. And there is so much to take back from it between education and the show floor.
Great. Jamie?
So I love convention. Do not get me wrong. But when you get the convention bug, you get bit by the mid-year leadership bug too. And so I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. Plan on a second trip later this year. It is not on the website yet. They usually keep it top secret until we get through convention. But I look forward to that announcement every year so that you can really partner with WQA. We have been members of multiple associations. This is the most hands-on association we have ever been a part of, that they're just not on stage and then they leave and you never see them. When they tell you that there's the four corners of the hub, I'm 7 years in. My husband is almost 20. And I'm telling you, they really are there. Like Wes will be there. You can touch him, you can talk to him, and you can make him laugh. Like it's the neatest hands-on association that we've ever been a part of, which is why we're 100% in WQA, and as long as our company is going.
Thank you. And by the way, we do actually have plans for the Mid-Year Leadership Conference, and it's going to be in the Chicago area in Rosemont, and it's coming up in September. So we will have more information about that, and we're excited about it because it's always the opportunity to, again, not only connect, but to really interact and share ideas that really move the industry forward. By the way, I do remember I did wanted to come back to Haley on one thing, and that is the app. Can you show us the app at all? Is there something that you can show us on your screen?
Yes, absolutely. I am also joined on my phone, so I'm just going to go ahead and screen share in a second here. Is my screen with the WQA app right in the top left corner that you guys were able to download earlier, the WQA Convention and Exposition app. All right, when you open it, it will show you this screen, and the 2024 app should just be there already for you. You'll be able to log in here. I'll log in real time so you guys can see what that looks like. If you're downloading the app for the first time, it might ask you to opt in for push notifications, and I highly recommend that you do, because we do send out important reminders through the app that you'll want to get them to pop up on your phone rather than having to go into the app and be like, oh, I got a notification a while ago. All right, so here's me logging in. I'm using the email that I registered for the convention with, or else it won't let me log in. All right, and then the privacy things to agree to, and then you are in. And you should only have to log in one time. After that, you'll just automatically be in the app. If you are having to log in multiple times, just download the app, delete the app, re-download it, and log in, and it should be fixed. If you are having any trouble logging in or anything, please email me. I will drop my email in the chat. And then you can create your profile. And we highly recommend sharing that with attendees and exhibitors, because that's a big part of networking, is that they see you're at convention and you actually will be able to message with people in the app if you do share that information as well. And then here's some tips to go through just to kind of know how to use the app. And here it is in all its glory. I'll just do a quick overview before kind of diving into each tile, or the main tiles, I should say. And at the bottom, you'll see the Get Slides, Messages, Search and Maps. I actually don't know if you guys can see that on your screen or if it cuts it off. Here's the Maps tab at the bottom. It's just an overall view of the OCCC campus. And then here is the South building where we will be. So here's the entrance that we'll be entering. This is the second floor up here. You'll enter here. And this area that I'm zooming in on right now is where registration will be. Badge pickup will be straight ahead. So for those that are already registered, you'll just go right to badge pickup. You will have a QR code on your phone that you'll be emailed, and you'll just be able to scan that and be good to go. But if you did have questions, you would come to the registration desk. These S230 rooms are where some of the education sessions will be. And then straight back through here and down these escalators, you will find the first floor, which is where the hall will be. And then here is the upstairs, where some other education sessions will be as well. So that's the map for you guys. And also here is the full schedule in this yellow button right here. You can browse by day, and you can favorite sessions. And those favorited sessions will then, when I go back to the main screen, they will be in the My Schedule button, so that I can see what I've favorited on each day. And I can just go to those sessions. And you can also add a meeting for yourself. Like if you want to pencil something in, like, oh, I'm going to talk to X, Y, and Z booth on this day, you can add that as well. So that is the schedule feature. You can go to the people's feature, and here you'll see app users. So these are people who logged in and wanted to share their profile information. You can go to one, and then you can even message them.
Wow, that is very cool.
I love it. I am so geeked about it.
I know.
Back in the day, I love the map, because I will tell you, first off, the convention center is huge. So we never know, do you go into the east, the west, the north, the south? So especially if you're taking an Uber, where do you get dropped off at? And then when you walk in, where do you go? So knowing that it's in the south is a huge bonus. But then seeing that map and looking at the schedule ahead of time, you can kind of plan, where am I going to go? Am I going to be upstairs, downstairs, middle floor? Where am I going? So you're not running around feeling frantic. We, back in the olden days, we didn't have that. So it's very cool.
Absolutely. And then I'd also, before we exit the app, I'd also like to talk about the expo tile, because that is also super important. When you open it, exposition hours, on the bottom, you'll click floor plan. And this is where you will see the floor plan that was in the schedule or in the website. And you can go in and favorite different booths that you would like to visit, or you can say that you already visited them. And based on what we were hearing from Jennifer and Jami, this is super important for when you're doing that second or third walk around, to know, who do I still need to talk to, or who have I talked to and maybe want to have a second conversation with. And you also can just go to the booth list, which shows you various booths, or the exhibitors list. And then when you click on said exhibitor, you can also click on the Find Booth, and it will show you where they are on the expo floor. So very helpful tool for navigating the exposition floor and the convention in general.
Yeah, this really is a gem. I mean, really.
Yes.
Yeah, you could. I know there are going to be some folks they'll want that paper map, and that's great. But this has so many powerful tools, and advantages, frankly. So we encourage you to download that app and make the most of it.
Absolutely.
All
And
right.
Haley and Wes, one more thing on the app, you can see it says get slides. When you're
Yeah.
sitting in those classes, as long as WQA received them, the slides are in there, and you can actually have the slides already on your phone as they're speaking, and there's a note area. So it's very cool to be able to do that so that you don't have to keep putting up your phone and taking pictures. They're already there for you here.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Great
sharing.
point. Great point. Yeah, it's an education tool, a scheduling tool, making sure you touch base with all of the booths you want to touch base with, networking, etc. So fantastic.
Great. I will
All right.
stop sharing my screen now unless anybody had any questions about the app.
Go ahead. Yeah, and you can. I think you can stop sharing, and
All right, great.
we appreciate it, Haley. And I think we have come to the conclusion and have said everything that we want to say. I want to just thank our guests. We had Jami West from CTech and Jennifer Smith from Resintech. We had Haley Fioretti and Monica Sanchez from WQA. And again, thanks everybody. Appreciate your helping me and helping everybody on board. And again, we'll have a recording of this and we'll send that out so that you can continue to either share that or go back over something you might have heard. So again, thanks for joining us for the webinar. We look forward to seeing you in Orlando. Thanks so much.